This meeting of the City of Socorro's Historical Landmark Commission is set to begin. First and foremost, the City of Socorro would like to thank everyone and ask for your patience during this difficult time we have been presented with. Everyone, please remember to silence any electronics to avoid sound interruption. No disruptive behavior or outbursts will be tolerated, and violators are subject to call disconnection and possible prosecution. In accordance with Section 418.016 of the Texas Government Code, and by order of the Office of the Governor issued March 16, 2020, the Historical Landmark Commission for the City of Socorro will broadcast the meeting scheduled today, December 9th, 2020 at 6 p.m. from City Council Chambers located at 860 Rio Vista Road, Socorro, Texas, via telephone conference and live stream in order to advance the public health goal and practice social distancing to slow the spread of coronavirus, also known as COVID 19. The public that signed up and any presenters will be called upon by the presiding officer during the meeting to speak during the public comment or their agenda item during the meeting following Government Code 551.042. La reunión de la Comisión de Propiedades Históricos de la Ciudad de Socorro está por empezar. Primeramente, queremos darles las gracias y pedimos su paciencia durante estos momentos críticos que enfrentamos. Favor de poner en silencio todo equipo electrónico para evitar interrupción de sonido. No se va a tolerar ningún tipo de comportamiento perjudicial o revoltoso. A quien no siga estas reglas, su llamada será desconectada y puede ser infraccionado. De acuerdo con sección 418.016 del Código del Gobierno de Texas y por orden de la Oficina del Gobernador, anunciada el 16 de marzo del 2020, la Comisión de Propiedades Históricos de la Ciudad de Socorro transmitirá su reunión hoy, miércoles 9 de diciembre del 2020 a las 6 de la tarde, desde la Sala del Concilio localizada en 860 Rio Vista Road, Socorro, Texas, por medio de teléfono y será transmitida en vivo para avanzar en el objetivo de salud pública y practicar el distanciamiento social para tomar medidas preventivas para prevenir la propagación del coronavirus, conocida como COVID-19, a los demás y por la seguridad del público. El público y los presentadores serán anunciados por el oficial, conduciendo la reunión para poder hablar durante la sección de comentario público o después de la discusión del artículo de la agenda por cual se apuntaron, siguiendo las reglas del gobierno 551.042.
And with that, we can go ahead and ask our chair, Ms. Kathy Apodaca, to start the meeting. Ms. Kathy, are you there?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay.
I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:04 on December 9th, 2020.
All right, line item number 2, establishment of quorum. We have 4 members present. We have Ms. Marty Loya, Mr. David Estrada, Mr. Lujan, and Ms. Kathy Apodaca. Mr. Lujan?
Yes.
Oh.
Here.
All right, we have 2 members absent. On line item number 3, excuse absent commission members, which are Ms. Mary Perez and Mr. Alfredo Gonzalez.
Commissioners, I do want to let you know that Mr. Gonzalez did let us know that he did have a schedule conflict. He did have a meeting with SISD and was unable to attend. We weren't able to get a hold of Mary, though.
Okay. Okay, I make a motion to excuse.
I second
I'll
the
second
motion.
that. Go ahead.
I second the motion.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Lujan, second by Marty. Okay, Ms. Marty Loya,
Yes.
Mr. David Estrada,
Yes.
Mr. Lujan,
Yes.
Mr. Lujan?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you. And Ms. Kathy Apodaca.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Line item number 4, open forum. We do not have anyone signed in for open forum. And we will move to line item number 5, consider and take action on the approval of regular meeting minutes for the Wednesday, October 14th, 2020 Historical Landmark Commission meeting.
make a motion to approve.
Did we
item
receive
number
the
five.
meeting minutes? I don't think I got them.
I'll second that motion.
I'm sorry, Kathy. You cut out a little bit. I heard Kathy talk over you. What did you ask?
This is Marty. We get the meeting minutes because I don't think I received them.
Lisbeth, were you able to send the minutes to Ms. Loya? If not, I think I can pull them up on my share screen. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, they should have been forwarded with the last email that you sent.
I got the agenda.
There was 2 emails, one for HLC meeting backup.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ask Diana if I can share my screen. Can everyone go ahead and see my Excel sheet?
Yes.
Okay, so this is for Wednesday, October 14th, 2020 meeting. We have a call to order at 6:04. Our quorum included Mr. Gonzalez as present, Mr. Lujan was absent, Mrs. Loya was present, Mrs. Perez was present, Mr. Estrada was present, Mrs. Apodaca was present. We did have a motion to go ahead and excuse absent commission members, first by Mrs. Perez, seconded by Mr. Estrada. All members present voting yea. Line item number 4 from the October meeting. We had no one present or sign up for open forum. Line item number 5 was consider and take action on the special meeting minutes for Wednesday, September 16th, 2020. We did have a motion to approve made by Mr. David Estrada, seconded by Mrs. Marty Loya. Mary Perez did vote aye, as well as Alfredo Gonzalez, Kathy Apodaca, Marty Loya, and David Estrada. Line item number 6 was consider and take action on a certificate of appropriateness for cement work located on the property of 10050 Socorro Road. We did have a motion to approve made by Mrs. Mary Perez, seconded by Mrs. Marty Loya. We did have all members present voting aye. Line item number 7 was consider and take action on the certificate of appropriateness for the installation of a canopy located at 11532 Socorro Road. The motion was made to table by Mrs. Marty Loya, seconded by Mrs. Kathy Apodaca. All members present did vote yes. And then we did have a discussion on current projects and efforts being done by the commission as well as the city. We did adjourn. Motion made by Mary Perez, seconded by Marty Loya, with all members voting yes. Meeting adjourned at
Thank you.
6:26 p.m. No problem.
Thank you, Victor.
You're welcome.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I think we already had a first and a second. I'm sorry.
We had a first by Mr.
Oh, okay.
Lujan, second by Ms. Kathy Apodaca.
Okay.
Ms. Marty Loya,
Yes.
Mr. David Estrada,
Yes.
Mr. Lujan,
Yes.
and Ms. Kathy Apodaca.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Line item number 6, consider and take action on the certificate of appropriateness for an installation of a canopy on the property located at 11532 Socorro Road.
Good afternoon, commissioners. So this will be our only actionable item this afternoon. It is the continuation of the tabling item that we had back in September. After doing some research and going over the ordinance and discussing with the SHPO, which is the State Historic Preservation Office, we did go ahead and research, and I do have a recommendation to commissioners to review and to discuss. And I do also want to make note that the applicant is on the call, Mr. Navarro. He is on the call. So in reviewing the ordinance and reviewing the guidelines, Our governing ordinance and our guide is the Mission Trail Guidelines, which you formally adopted. We should allow all of our residents to be able to go ahead and apply for a shaded structure. However, if they are located in our district, we are obligated to make sure that that does comply with our guidelines. So my recommendation would be to go ahead and allow the applicant to apply for a shaded structure to be built on his property with the following conditions. Number one would be not to be seen from the street as outlined through our governing document, which is the guidelines. Number two would be to abide by the guidelines from, the materials portion of the actual document. And number three would be to provide a design structure for our commissioners, which goes in line with our actual district, meaning whether it's Mission, Hacienda, or Adobe. Give me 1 second. Did we lose David or is David there? We're
Yeah, I
gonna
think we lost Adrian.
we're gonna have to wait until David comes back
Yeah.
to meet quorum.
Would you like me to call him?
Um, yeah, go ahead and call him, and let's hope that he can come back. Can you do a mic check for us really quick?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Kathy, can you do a mic check for us real quick?
I can hear everything just fine.
Tito, can you do a mic check for us real quick?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Awesome. Marty, can you do a mic check real quick?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and just pick up where I left off regarding the motion that I'm suggesting. I do suggest that we go ahead and ask our applicant to comply with our guidelines in the historical document. So asking him to go ahead and build the shaded structure not viewable from the street. to go ahead and abide by the materials and design guidelines that are set forth in the historical document, as well as provide the commission with an end design that would be applicable, that would comply with our architectural examples, such as Hacienda, Mission, and Adobe. I am going to ask Diana to go ahead and let me share my screen so I can show you what we received. We did go ahead and receive a completed application from Mr. Navarro. He did go ahead and provide the site plan. I'm sorry, can you guys see the screen, Marty? And then if you're watching on
Yes.
YouTube, okay. So you can go ahead and see the site plan that he did provide. He did go ahead and provide us with renderings for where it would be located, which would be right here in the back left portion of his property, this being the back and this being the front. He did go ahead and provide us with an example of what it's going to look like. Let me go ahead and rotate this really quick. So these are the plans for construction. He is using wood with cement. And then he did provide this as an example. The top and the side would be wood, the roof would be metal sheets, colors would be white and brown, and this would be the overall finished product. This is the four photos of his property from the street. As you can tell, you really can't see the back of his property just throughout the layout of the home. So that was not a huge concern for the office or staff. The concern with staff would be just the metal roof or the metal sheathing. In the past, lamina has not been approved material throughout the commission. That is really the only huge concern that staff had with this application. And then overall, we just wanted to go ahead and ask the commission if they approved of this design. As I mentioned, we would go ahead and politely request that the design be made to go ahead and fit in with the district, such as emission style guidelines, which could be easily fabricated through wood. It's been done before, or as well with cement and lime plaster adobe. However, that was the recommendation that we were setting forth. And at this time, we'll go ahead and allow the commissioners to discuss, and the commissioners can also allow the applicant to speak if they wish. I'm sorry, Marty, were you able to see the photos?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. And you can let me know if you need me to go through any of them. I'm happy to go ahead and slide through all the photos that they provided as well. If you need me to enlarge anything, just let me know.
So Victor, the only thing they're not in compliant with right now is the roof, because it's aluminum, and the style. Is that correct?
Yeah, those were the biggest concerns that staff had in reviewing the application, which would just stand out is just compliance with the district to make sure that any infill matched. The issue with this application is it's our first application for a shaded structure or canopy. So this would be the precedent that we set for the governing body moving forward to go ahead and review any of these types of applications. So since there's no precedent before, I did want to go ahead and just make sure that we do include that the guidelines of the district just be upheld in terms of facade design guidelines, as well as architectural guidelines and materials. So the wood is not a huge issue. The wood would be compliant with the district. The overall design is not part of the facade of the district for the Mission or Southwest landscape. And then the lamina would be not an approved material that's been done in the past.
Victor, did you say the landscape is not in accordance with the guidelines?
The design of the actual structure is not one of the recommended guidelines. It's a pitched roof with wood sides. However, there's no outline design of like a mission or any kind of vigas or any kind of parapets. It's just a standard pitched roof design. I'm sorry, David, you cut off a little bit there. Could you repeat that one more time?
I think that was Mr. Lujan speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lujan. Can you go ahead and repeat that?
No, that's fine. If they follow all the guidelines that you have said, I'm for it.
I agree. I think if we have guidelines, we have to make everybody follow those guidelines.
I agree as well.
Mrs. Lawyer, did you have any questions?
No, I also agree that they should, they need to follow the guideline.
Would you like to hear from the applicant? Mr. Navarro is on the call.
I guess the question is, does he understand the guidelines? This would be a question to him.
Mr. Navarro?
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Rodolfo Navarro. And when you guys say guidelines, you mean doing it like kind of la hacienda or kind of like mission or something like that?
Correct. I'm going to actually show on the screen what we have on the website. So that way we can go ahead and show for the record what we're referencing, which I can also send to Mr. Navarro.
Okay, the reason is, well, my house is not an hacienda style or none of those. I just bought the property, I think like 3 years ago, and it's a very, very normal house without any kind of difference. So, and that's why I just wanted, to do that carpool in the back. It's not gonna be seen from nowhere. It's just gonna be in the back of my backyard. And if I do hacienda in the back, it's gonna be weird because my house is not hacienda, it's not mission, it's none of those. You know what I mean? So, but if you guys wanted me to make it like that, I mean, it's gonna look weird. But just tell me what it is that you guys want it, and I can do it the way you want it. But it's nothing. It's just to put my car inside, and because I don't know what else to say though.
So really quick, just to cite the guidelines. So for roofing, the roofings that we have approved would include a Pueblo architecture or Mediterranean. However, flat roofs or hip roofs with red clay tile can also be included as well. The geometry of the building should be more defined by walls than by roofs. The height of the roof above the wall should not be greater than the height of the wall itself. And then if roofing is beyond repair, that wouldn't qualify since this would be a brand new structure. So this would be what we would be able to go ahead and give Mr. Navarro. And then he would have the options that are laid out in the actual guidelines that show the architecture and the design for the district.
Well, has he stopped by to see what the actual guidelines are? Is he aware of what the guidelines are?
We just opened our lobbies back up on Monday, so we've been teleworking through phone, but we're able to go ahead and print him a copy. I did just want to go ahead and just provide this because he was waiting for November, but because of Veterans Day, we didn't have a meeting. So this is where we left off. But there's nothing in the document itself specifically that cites canopies. And with this being the first one, I know down the road we're going to get more applications. So I did want to go ahead and just get a consensus of the commission to see if this would be something that they would agree with in following the guidelines for roofing as well as materials. And again, this can be an example of what the roof could look like as far as the facade. And we would give him all these examples as well. There is a section on porches. However, the porch, by legal definition, would be attached to the building. So that's why I didn't offer this as an example. It is in the guidelines, but it wouldn't be applicable.
I'm gonna make a motion to deny until the applicant can meet the guidelines regarding the roofing material and, material. I think it's important that
second.
we set a good precedent.
I would
I'll
recommend
second that motion.
I would recommend maybe we table and not deny, because then the way that the item is worded, it would deny his application for the entire canopy for his property. So I would recommend maybe we table and have him come back with an approved design that the commissioners could approve of that is in consistency with the guidelines.
Okay, that's fine. I make a motion to table until the applicant can come back with, guidelines, that we can approve and that, follow our existing guidelines.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Navarro.
Hello, oh my God. It's been like a nightmare for me, to be very, very honest, because I keep coming back with stuff that you guys, wanted me to do. And last time I changed the material. And if you guys need me to change the roof, I mean, there's no problem for me. Just tell me and I change the roof. But, tell me exactly what you guys want, because it's been almost more than 3 months. And you guys just keep saying the guideline, and I just provide you with new material, which is, instead of steel to the side, I change it for wood. And if you guys don't like the roof on metal sheet, which is the most normal or common for a carpool, I can change it for wood. So, but please tell me, my house is a normal house. Like I said, though, and the colors is gonna be matching my house. Like I said, nobody gonna be able to see this through I provide you with photos, with, and everything. Now, please, if you are not gonna let me doing my carpool, can you please be more specific though? Because I already changed my materials, and just tell me, or you know what? Send me 3 models, and I just pick one model, and I'll do it with the material that you guys wanted. Do it the way you want it. But please, tell me exactly what do you mean? Because it's like I said, it's 3 months, and it's hard. Like I see my neighbors, and all my neighbors, they have in their backyard stuff like me, and oh my God, and I'm the only one. Now I know that I'm the only one that I have permission. You know what I mean? But I just want to do it right. And I think the right thing to do is just tell me the 3 designs that you wanted. You guys send me 3 designs, and I'll pick one design. I hire a contractor, I make it happen. But tell me, please, what is it that you guys want? Because I already changed my material a couple of times, though, and I just keep changing it, like I said, though.
Right,
Can you
Mr.
please give me a hand, help me out?
Right. So that was the purpose of the meeting, to go ahead and give direction on what needed to happen in order for us to go ahead and review the application. So number 1 would be the materials. The materials that were originally presented were not something that was congruent to the actual district. And we didn't have some of the photos that you had handed me in this application, which is what the commissioners are now viewing, and that's why there was questions about the roof. So now what we're gonna go ahead and discuss is if they allow me to, I can go ahead and meet with you to go ahead and give you the recommended design guidelines to go ahead and explain what needs to be changed in order to go ahead and comply with the district.
I can change it now if you want to. I mean, I don't mind. I just need my carpool. I can do it wood if you guys want it. Wood with shingle, no problem.
So I do need to mention that you're using the word carport, which would mean that you're looking to put a vehicle under it, as opposed to a canopy.
Well, it's you know, it's gonna be for car when it's raining. The other time was healing. It's gonna be for my cookout. It's gonna be for my kids to play outside. It's gonna be a multi-use place, though.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions while the applicant is on the line?
I
No,
don't.
I'm fine.
Okay, I think we had a motion, Ms. Castro. Can you
Yes,
go ahead and
we have a
repeat?
motion to table by David.
Did we have a second?
No, we don't have a second yet. Could I get a second, please?
I'll second that
I
motion.
think Kathy,
Okay. All right, I have a first by David and a second by Kathy. Ms. Marty Loya,
yes.
Mr. David Estrada,
Yes.
Mr. Lujan,
Yes.
and Ms. Kathy Apodaca.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Okay, and we will be moving to line item number 7. I do see the agenda says line item number 10. We will make corrections for the next meeting minutes. So line item number 7 would be open for questions or comments from commissioners regarding any current commission efforts and projects.
Really quickly before we start, Mr. Navarro, we will be reaching out to you tomorrow to go ahead and set up a meeting to go ahead and further discuss your application for the proposed project.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Appreciate your assistance.
You're welcome. Have a good night. Stay safe.
Likewise, bye-bye.
Thank you. Did any of the commissioners want to discuss anything before I made
I
mention?
have,
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a couple of things. I think Mr. Navarro made a good point to where his neighbors are doing things without asking for permission or going through the process. I think we see that in other areas as well too, and I'm not sure how we as a commission can address that. Because I've seen things that go up and it has to be before our commission.
So in terms of non-compliance, neither I nor the commission really has any governing powers to enforce a fine or a citation. That is why we have code enforcement, and that is just the way the ordinance is written. So anytime you see something that goes against any of our design guidelines or any construction that maybe may not have gone through our commission at all, anyone, the public or us as staff or the commissioners, are able to contact code enforcement and give them the address of what's happening. So that way they can go ahead and number 1, look up if any permits were taken out. And number 2, address the numerous violations that happen when they don't take out a permit. So for example, I do know there is a property located on Socorro Road that was flagged for concern by numerous community members. We did go ahead and take it through the normal process, which is including planning and zoning, as well as code enforcement. They did cite them for non-compliance. They did cite them for non-compliance with HLC, and they did cite them for business registration. In those issues, what happens is we go through the process where normally HLC would be the very last part of the process, seeing as how we're more aesthetics and design guidelines. And normally it's with businesses that need to go ahead and follow the actual course of getting their registrations and their licenses and their zoning in order. So once that property comes up to ours, I would present it to HLC for review, where we can recommend or deny a COA. However, I do know that there's a lot of concern with our district in terms of non-compliance. So I do recommend that even if you want to email me or call the office, we're available to go ahead and help you as best as we can to go ahead and make sure that everyone is complying, just to be fair and to be consistent across the board. But I do agree with you, Marty.
Okay. The second thing I have is the city board had received a grant, I believe, to do murals across the city with the students. And I think that was post-COVID. I don't know if they were finished or have they finished. And the reason I'm bringing it up is there's a wall across our property on Socorro Road that was from the old handball court that used to be here in Socorro. It's the only existing wall that's still standing. And I think it'd be pretty cool if they could do a mural on that wall before it falls. I just wanted to find out if they're still working on that or not.
So the Socorro Youth and Culture Program was awarded a grant from the Paso Norte Health Foundation for year 1. Year 1 just ended on November the 30th, 2020. I can confirm that they did get awarded for year 2. So right now they are in their planning phase. So if you will repeat that location one more time, it was the original wall and it's located.
It's on Socorro Road. I don't have an address, Victor. there. It's across from what 10257 Socorro Road. It's it's right next to the music shop. There's a music shop that's there, and the wall, and you can only see the wall when you're coming from the east headed west.
Okay. I can pass it
But it's
along to the artists, and then we can even reach out as a commission to have the artists sit in on a meeting, and that way we can maybe
okay.
provide like ideas or pitch some suggestions, and then just for feedback. The way that the grant is currently working is that the artists host different Facebook events with the youth to go ahead and pitch different ideas and suggestions. For example, as Marty mentioned, they were doing the Welcome to Socorro mural on Horizon Boulevard, and then they also did the Veterans mural on the flip side of that one. They did the Clothesline Quarantine Project, which was a drive-through art show, and then we also got a different mural the city received from the U.S. Census Department, and they did a mural actually at Moon City Park. So there's a lot of public art
Okay.
that's coming, so we're really excited. We'd really love to showcase some Socorro history. Some of our council members have even suggested doing a mural inside the courthouse. So that is something that may be coming down the line for HLC to review. But yeah, we're really excited to go ahead and collaborate and produce more public art. We think it will beautify the city, and we're actually really looking forward to actually maybe doing sculptures or metalwork. So that could really
Wow.
showcase some of the character of our corridor.
Okay.
All those
Cool.
ideas sound great.
Did any of the commissioners want to touch on anything or ask any questions about anything that may be going on? Anything that they saw? Anything that they maybe are concerned about?
No, I'm
I
doing
don't
good.
have anything.
I have two pieces of information that I didn't want to share with everyone. The first one is we actually are moving forward with the creation of a new website for the city of Socorro. So, being the HPO, I did want to make it very important that we did a historical preservation page, as well as a historic tourism and heritage page, as well as provide resources for community spots or tourist spots. So you'll be seeing a few things come before our commission in the near future. Some one-sheeters, some letters. I really want to do like a letter for anyone that is a new resident or a new business to go ahead and inform them of what the HLC is, and then also do a frequently asked questions guideline that we can put at planning and zoning, as well as a website for what it means to be a historic business, and then also do different kind of workshops possibly with the county's economic development department to go ahead and generate more revenue for the district. So that's going to be coming in the near future. So be looking out for a few emails on that one. And then the second piece of news is because of COVID, our normal Texas Historical Commission training has gotten moved to a virtual platform. So I am recommending that Mrs. Marty Loya attend the training, as she is the vice chair and hasn't attended training yet. This was the same training that our chair, Mrs. Apodaca, attended in 2019. And so I'm going to be sending Marty an email to go ahead and give her a little bit more information on the training. It is virtual. There's a lot of different topics. It'll help us not only with tax incentive programs, but also with just general information on what a CLG is, because we are a certified local government. And it's really interesting and it's really cool. And so my recommendation is now to have our vice chair attend that training this year. So if anybody has any questions on the training or wants more information, let me know. If David or Tito or Mary or Alfred want to attend, there shouldn't be a problem. It's relatively cheap this upcoming year because of the virtual programming. So just shoot me an email if anyone's interested. I know it can be a little, you can develop a little fatigue being in a screen all day. However, they've mentioned that there's a little bit of icebreakers, there's some breaks involved, there's some really great keynotes. So it's a really great training. I really highly recommend. If you have any questions, you can ask Kathy, kind of like what it's like, or myself, or Ms. Castro. But we're really excited. There's a lot of great topics, things that are going to help us restore Rio Vista Community Center as well. And then I lied. I have one more piece of really good news. I did receive yesterday that our capital improvement program, we had awarded money for the National Historical Landmark nomination for Rio Vista Community Center. Our contractors, which are Front Range, They completed their rough draft, and it went through a review from UTEP, from staff, as well as stakeholders from the historical department here at the university. They are actually going to go ahead and move on to the next step, which is a peer review of the National Park Service, who's funding that project. So we're moving one step closer to having an actual national historical landmark here in the city of Socorro. Currently, there are less than 10% of NHLs in the country that have Hispanic background or heritage. So it's really exciting to kind of finally see this come to fruition. With the NHL nomination, once it goes through, God willing, it gets approved, we'll be able to open doors for more funding, which is what we need to go ahead and see our dream come true for RVCC, which would include the first ever municipal library. That is still one of our main components, our main focuses, as well as our grants administrator, Ms. Valadez. We're very committed to seeing it through to go ahead and provide the community with a free library. It's something that is desperately needed, as well as the rehabilitation for other programs, as well as the rehab for our parking lot so we can have farmers markets, so we can generate more interest in historical preservation. We can actually host galas in the courtyard. We can host different recreational opportunities. So it's still near and dear to our heart. We are going to be pitching all of this to our new council that take office in January to go ahead and explain the breakdown of projects. And then through our efforts, we do hope to go ahead and see this through very soon. Those are my updates for you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a great testament to all of our hard work. I know it went before HLC in the past. This has been on the book since I think 2017. So it's been a very interesting, a very time-consuming passion project for all of us that's had many hands go through it, but we're very excited for that.
Well,
Good job.
yeah.
If no one has any other items, Ms. Castro, can you move on to the next item?
Okay, we will be moving to the next item, line item number 8, meeting adjournment. Could I get a motion to adjourn, please?
I move that
I'll
we
make a
adjourn.
motion. Oh, sorry, Marty.
Okay,
I
I have a
second.
first by Marty. Can I get a second?
I'll second that
I
motion.
second.
Okay, I got Kathy and then David. Okay, all right. And Ms. Marty Loya,
Yes.
Mr. David Estrada,
Yes.
Mr. Lujan,
Yes.
and Ms. Kathy Apodaca.
Yes.
Okay, and the time is 6:46 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a happy holidays. If you need anything, please reach out.